Gold jacket, green jacket, who gives you?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gold Jacket, Green Jacket podcast. We are here for episode number 47. Happy 2025 from us.
You.
My name is Christian Dragonetti, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and Australian PJ professional, Mr. Joel Mitchell. Jolie, mate, what's going on?
I'm recovering.
You're
from
recovering.
all the festivities, drank and ate too much, and did not get enough sleep, and saw way too many people that I only see once a year for a good reason. So otherwise I'm cruising. We're good. We've started a new year, and there's bright things on the horizons.
Absolutely. I listened to a podcast called The Alpha Blokes, two blokes up in Queensland.
I love them.
And they call this period of the year the blur. And I'm like, it's the perfect name for it because you don't know. Like, you'll go into it and be like, this is sick. I can't wait for Chrissy. And then you'll come out of it being like, what happened?
Someone made a good point. One of the comedians said that you don't know what day it is purely because everything's now Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day,
Not Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
No, it's Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and then you get to like the 28th, and you're like, I don't know what day it is.
Well, getting into recent rounds, right?
Like-
that legitimately happened to me this week, like just gone.
Yeah.
So
It
it's
doesn't feel
Friday
like it.
night,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's the day after Boxing Day. Like, all right, whatever. And then the missus goes, what time are you playing golf tomorrow? I'm like, I'm playing golf tomorrow?
You're like, fucking sick.
And she's like, yeah, it's Saturday. I'm like, it's Saturday?
It's like,
I'm like, all right, set the alarms, no dramas. Fuck. I would never have known.
no shit. Like today has got me back on track.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, pod day's Monday.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean? So like now I'm sort of, I've locked in again.
Back in the zone
I've
a
locked
little
in
bit.
again. However, tomorrow's going to fuck me again because
Yeah,
tomorrow's New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day. And then
Another blur.
I tell you what, lads, after my birthday, I'm going ghost mode. No one speak to me
Yeah, cool.
ever because anyway.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
So, yeah, into recent rounds.
Yeah, go for it.
I played on Saturday. Oh, well, my recent round was yesterday. I had a hit with my mum for 9 holes, but that doesn't count.
No.
Played on Saturday and I had 34 points, playing off 6 or 7. And it was a solid round. I was battling the whole day. Like I made, you're going to laugh.
Oh, fuck.
I made triple on 3.
How?
I zapped the back fence instead of the flag from the middle of the fairway. So
Come on, you got to know your favourite course
I
better
know,
than
100%, 100%. So, no, it was a bit of a story. So, pump driver down the guts, like best driver hit probably all day.
Yeah.
And then the boys, there was a 3-ball
Wasn't
behind
it
us.
sus that you had 155 still?
Yeah. but when I tell you this, you're going to be like, okay, it makes a little bit of sense.
Oh, God.
The guy, like, we were keeping pace, right? But there was a 3-ball behind us that were impatient as fuck. So we get down to the fairway, and I'm like, me and one of the playing partners are standing next to each other, just having a bit of a chin wag while Michael and Mitch go off and hit their pills. These guys have seen us standing on the fairway behind, like in front of them, right? And just gone, what the fuck are they waiting for? Hurry the fuck up, right? Like, keep in mind, I'm standing at my playing partner's ball while he's getting ready, just having a little bit of a chat for 2 seconds. Michael and Mitch are off hitting their balls off the side, off to the right rough. These boys have cracked it. So all of a sudden I'm like, well, fuck, get a move on, right? It shouldn't have fucking gotten into my head as much as it did.
I was going to say, if you're keeping pace, it doesn't matter
Yeah,
what
they were just impatient.
It doesn't
and
matter what
greedy
they
on-
are doing.
They then proceeded. One of them hit 3-wood from 230 on 3 and ran across my feet on the green. So I've turned around and just gone like this. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Like,
Yeah.
calm the fuck down.
I would have hit it back at him.
I almost did. Right, had it not been up against the back fence. But yeah, so I walk over to my ball, grab my rangefinder out, zap it. I'm like, yes, sweet, 145. I'm like, all right, I'm not hitting it great, so I'll grab an extra club, grab 7-iron, hit it. I'm like, oh yeah, sit down. And then Mitch goes, sit a lot. Sit a lot. Right?
If you've hit dog good down 3, you probably would have had 115, 110.
Yeah, correct.
110.
Correct.
And you're
then
just
I'm
like, oh, chip 7 iron.
It's honest, like it rattled me that much because my routine with any like scope that I've got to take with my rangefinder is right, zap the closest thing behind the flag so you know how far that is.
Oh, yeah.
So that you're not getting a dodgy read.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
always go, all right, there's a tree behind it. Zap that first. That's 270. All right, sweet. Well, it's not 270.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Zap the flag. All right, it's 110, whatever it might be.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
But I completely missed that step of my routine.
yeah. You were
And
flustered.
I was flustered. and then just struggled to get it.
It's not bad if you made
Honestly,
triple down 3. Like
as soon as I hit it, I'm like, that's way too much club.
yeah, you're like whoops.
Well, I was, legit whoopsies.
Wee! No, fucking hell.
But no, like
That's solid enough.
I then made a double on 8,
Yeah,
maybe.
So two big holes.
Two big
solid
holes
enough.
and still had 34 points. Like I was in the hunt for a while.
Yeah. I'll go my recent. Well, yeah, continue. But I'll go my recent round, and that'll lead us into what happened the other day.
Correct.
What we did the other day. But
Hit the ball reasonably well. Chipped and pitched very, very well after we had a lesson
Finally.
last week.
Yeah.
Was getting more and more confident with that. Just and didn't really have the greatest day putting. Like I'm not really in love with my putting stroke at the moment.
yeah, it's a weird part of the year.
It's a weird part of the year, and we're sort of all over the shop in terms of what golf courses we're
sometimes
playing,
you
and it's
just
hard
go-
to get used to a joint. And
Sometimes you just go into like different phases in terms of your golf swing. Like at the moment, I've never hit driver better.
no, you haven't.
Like I'm usually pretty solid off the tee or solid enough.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I reckon
If you miss
like
a fairway at the moment, it's kind of like, oh, what's happened?
yeah, what happened there? Like if I've missed fairways, I'm like, fuck, I must have really put on a bad swing. That's
Yeah.
how good driver feels at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm sort of slotting it at the moment. But my recent round was Saturday also. I played really, really early morning with Matt Stenson. He's PJ member and he's member out at Heritage as well.
Yep.
And then Raptor as well.
Yeah,
So
cool.
played early morning. I kind of chopped it. I didn't have a good day at all. Body didn't feel good. Like I was.
Oh,
like,
really?
I was just a bit. I felt heavy. Like everything
Yeah.
felt heavy because
That's how I felt yesterday having
it
it with
just
mum.
didn't have a lot of sleep, and after just like obviously this is the first 12 months being in the new place, so we're hosting everyone for our first setup Christmas.
Yeah.
So we had a million people over day after day after day after day. So just ate and drank too much, and
Yeah.
it didn't feel all that great. Hit it okay, like scavenged even par.
Yeah.
For I think I don't even know how many
was
points
31.
it would have been. It
Would have been
31,
31,
31 or 32 or something like that.
Yeah,
We played off the black, so even par I think gave me like 33.
Yeah, okay.
Playing off a
That's
bit
handy.
But how fuck's this? I like to keep track of what my handicap does because it gives me a good,
Yeah, you were telling me this
I was
yesterday.
telling you
Holy
this yesterday.
shit.
It gives me a good gauge as to like, okay, is my rounds consistent? Because if my handicap doesn't fluctuate, it means I'm just staying solid. I'm
Yeah.
cruising. I'm sort of shooting around the same scores that I should be.
Yep.
And this would have been about 20 rounds ago, it would have been, which makes sense. I had like a little purple patch. I reckon this would have been around August.
Okay.
Right, just coming out of winter. And I had a little purple patch where in the span of like 2 weeks, I'd shot 3 rounds sub 64 and then a couple others in the 66, 65 range.
Right.
So I had these like about 3 or 4 flags that were plus like 6.5 or better.
yeah.
Right. And then I had a couple that were sitting like +3 or something like that. So that's why it was like the +5.5 sort of range. Right. And I don't really care what the handicap says. I'm always trying to shoot the lowest score, but it just gives me a good gauge, right? Anyway.
Yep.
And so I noticed, I checked my handicap history the other day that I hadn't checked in a couple of weeks, and I saw that I had a +8.6 dropping off,
Oh, God.
then a free hit, then a +7.4 or something,
Yeah.
and then a +6.1.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh no. Right? I'm like, I'm going to have to go fucking scuba diving
Yeah.
to match these, let alone beat them.
Of course.
Right? So I'm like, all right, just doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go shoot the best score I possibly could. Right? So for 6 straight rounds, these were my rounds. It was like something like 66, 68, 67, 68, 69.
Even par.
And then like an even par.
Yeah.
And I've gone out a full shot.
That's ridiculous.
I'm like 24 under or 23 under in my last 5 rounds, and I've gone out a full shot. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh. The good thing is that opens it up because there's some lower flags now. Like I have a couple +3.5s, +2s in there.
Yeah.
So sort of just break 70 and I can beat them, and I can sort of get what the gauge I like back up. And like I said, at the level I'm trying to play at, a handicap means fuck all.
No.
But it's just for my mental own thing that as long as it doesn't fluctuate, then it means my golf's consistent.
It's a resource to determine how like in or out of form you might be.
Yeah, yeah. So, and the weird thing is, yeah, I've gone to like +4.4 or something. I haven't been off that for a year. But now it's like, now that makes it seem like I'm out of form, but I'm actually playing well.
Yeah,
it's
I
like-
suppose
it's
it's
such a
just your
weird
handicap
thing.
rounds just catching up with you.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you've gone scuba on those certain rounds,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit,
The
okay.
worst thing is it's the worst time of year for those to sort of come into.
Yeah.
Because I'm not playing. I haven't been really.
No.
I haven't played much in the last 3 weeks. Like haven't played much, but my last like 4 or 5 rounds have been real solid. I've actually played quite well.
So,
but other than that, I've
it's funny you talk of that though, like your handicap and stuff, because I've just pulled mine up, and oh boy, I'm in for a bit of hell the next few weeks.
Such a weird one.
I'm in for a bit of hell the next few weeks.
I think I'm cruising for a little bit now.
I've got 5 straight flags falling off. So I got a 7.8, a 5.7, a 5.4, a 7.2, and a 7.3.
Yeah.
Dropping off in the next 5 rounds.
Yeah.
So I've got to play, and they're like 34, 37, 35, 34 pointers. Like they're not that crash hot.
Yeah.
But like you said it as well. I feel like I'm coming into a little bit of form. If I can get certain aspects of the game under control, that doesn't daunt me and scare me as much as it really should.
Speaking of that, like,
Because
off the tee, it's the best I've seen you off the tee probably ever.
yeah,
Like you're smoking it off the tee. It's really good to see because you actually get yourself in play. The irons have sort of come around. You're hitting them pretty solid now.
pretty solid. Yeah,
And then your putting's your putting. If you have a good day, you have a good day. If you don't, you're never too far off.
No.
Right? But the biggest downfall that I've never seen from you, you've never had a crash hot short game.
No.
But it hasn't been like to the
In the
point where it
last 6
ruins
months?
to the point where it ruins your rounds.
in the last 6 months, my short game's probably been the best it's ever been.
Yeah. It's been solid enough
And
where
that's
you
because
don't
you and I have been working on it together, and it's been I've been practicing it heaps with SGM.
Then we had what 4 weeks where we didn't do anything.
Nah.
And then you text me was it last week?
Yeah,
Or
I was like
a week and a half
mid-round.
ago, and you text me going, "I've got the shanks," and I don't want to say that too loud.
No.
but you text me that, I'm like, oh no, oh no, and
And I
SG
sent you 2 messages. I was like, I've got the shanks, and next message with wedges, and you're just like, oh fuck.
Oh my god, no, right? And I'm like, this is not good, right? Because Michael actually put it perfectly. He goes, having the shanks is like having the flu.
Yes.
It's like it hangs around for a week and a bit,
And then it's gone.
then it disappears again.
Yeah.
and then it shows up when you least expect it. You're going, oh fuck, scratchy throat, fuck, wee, whoops, like
Yeah.
And then it's like, and so you can't get it, you can't get rid of it, no matter
No,
how hard
God,
you
no.
try, no matter how many pills you pop, you can't get rid of it.
Nah.
And the first sign of relief we've actually seen for probably a little bit was just the other, when was it? Was it yesterday? No, it wasn't yesterday. When was it?
Friday when we had
Friday,
a lesson.
was it? So Friday, yeah, we just went down to the back of 15 and sort of just tried to sort of break it down a little bit. Like there was a couple things. So the first 3 things that I got you to do was like dipping the big toe in.
Yeah.
I wanted you to do different movements to then like
Gauge.
dig what actually was wrong.
Yeah.
And so I could really distinguish what actually was wrong. It was like digging for gold almost.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, okay, I need to get all this dirt out of the way first, and then there it is.
Yeah.
Right, sort of thing. And the one biggest conclusion was, your right shoulder.
Yeah.
Like this weird sort of chicken wing shoulder movement that sort of initiated the backswing, and that made everything else crumble. And that was like the main cause of it.
Yeah.
So nothing else within your swing was wrong. There wasn't anything wrong. It was just that movement killed everything.
There was sort of 3 things that I have taken, or 4 things that I've taken away from it, right? The first 2, like I tick off before I've even thought about taking the club away. So I was standing way too open to the target.
Yes.
Aiming way too far left.
Yes.
And that's kind of just like a comfort thing. And you know, we'd worked on standing a bit more side on, like in that position for like chipping and stuff especially. And I think I've just kind of gone a little bit too far with it.
Yeah, you
I've
got comfy with it.
overcoached
Yeah,
it.
you got comfy with it.
And then obviously I'm just like, I've got no, and on top of that, I'm also standing too close to it. So
Yes.
I've got nowhere to like put the hands to put the club into the right spot.
To give everyone a visual, for listeners, he was standing sort of body language, shoulders and feet and hips were aiming literally probably I'm going to say 30 degrees on an angle from
was
where the
bad.
target was. It was
bad.
it was very, very open. And then standing close and over the top of it, and then also trying to hit like almost like a draw feeling to the hole. So the first thing that's going to get to the ball is that hosel.
Of course.
Once all the habits got bad.
Yes.
Like your good chip shots were good, but your good chip shots also went straight left.
And it's kind of like a seesaw. Like if you want to imagine this, like this has been okay over time, and the balance of powers has just slowly fallen, and the seesaw has just slowly gotten too heavy on one side, and it's bottomed out. Now it's bad.
Yeah, now it's fucked.
Now it's fucked.
Yeah. Now there's not weight.
So those are the first 2 things. So standing too close to it and opening up too much. So I've reversed that. So we're squaring myself up, and we're giving myself a bit of room. Ball position in the stance, everything else stays relatively the same.
Yeah.
The next 2 things I need to feel is that when I take the club away, I don't need my head to go left.
Your head doesn't go left. It goes forward.
It goes forward.
Yeah, your head
right?
goes
It kinda
forward
dips.
towards the ball. It's like that.
Yeah, it kind of
It's
dips
like-
forward a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
And then also I need to initiate the backswing with my hands and rotating the elbow outwards.
Yeah, it's
rather
like
than
it's
chicken
like,
winging it.
It's like feeling like there's something just under your elbow, and his elbow has to rotate along that, like along his hip, rather than coming out.
Yeah.
So coming out was what killed it because he had to go forward to the ball, so he was just doing this.
Yeah.
And sort of pushing the hands towards the ball, and you're never going to hit a good
No,
shot doing
God,
that. So
no.
coming out this way was like hitting a draw. First thing that gets to the ball is that club face, and once you got that sort of feeling down, you had to force it for the first little bit.
Always do.
Which you have to. It's not a new feeling, but it's just an improved feeling of what you had. And after that, I'm like, this looks pretty good. Like you squared yourself off. You started feeling like you're hitting draws. You weren't, but that's what you had to feel.
Yep.
And then the position looked pretty good. And then all you had to do from there is fucking rotate.
Yeah.
Once you rotate, you're good. And then that's where the confidence comes in. And by the end of it, you're hitting some pretty good shots.
Yeah, and it carried on into Saturday, and then yesterday I was, just having a chip around with mum at a couple of greens and stuff, and a few of the old habits kicked in a little bit, and I did hit a couple of dodgy ones, but I then just knew straight away what I'd done wrong, which is the best thing about it. I've got something to work on now. I feel exactly the same way that I did last time we had a short game lesson, like originally with just after. And when we got SGM involved in them as well, I feel like I'm in the same spot now than I was then.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with where things are at. It feels comfy. I've got a bit more confidence in it.
Yep. Speaking of SGM, he's on the prowl.
He's on the prowl.
He's on the prowl.
Yeah.
He's gone 37 Saturday, 36 yesterday. And he sent me...
Friday, Saturday he played.
Friday, Saturday. So back-to-back rounds, he went 37-36, which is fantastic.
Yep.
Basically the same score because he had 37 playing off 11, 36 playing off 10.
Yep.
So same score, beautiful
And
back-to-back days.
Saturday,
That's with
2 wipes.
That's with 1 wipe on the Saturday, two on the Friday. However...
No. You got it wrong. You're looking at them wrong. You got the days mixed up.
37-36.
Yeah, that's Friday.
Oh, 10. He's playing off 11 off the... Yeah, okay, from the black, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
So that's... Yeah, okay,
I
that's
played
Friday.
with him. Like,
30,
I think-
36 on Friday, 37 on the Saturday.
So he started and finished with wipes as well. And he's walked off the golf course on
too.
Saturday saying to me, he's like, I've never been more pissed off with 37 points.
Yeah, exactly. So the Friday... And he sent me this message. He sent me 2 photos of the scorecard. And...
I love how we just publicly air out all his shit.
All he says, because he's involved in the pod, and
Yeah,
plus,
that's true.
and plus, we and him are doing a lot of work to try and get him, 1, better than you, and 2,
Oh, okay, thanks.
that's his aim. That's everyone's aim, I think.
Yeah.
All your mates that play with you, they want to
I think so.
get to you or past you. That's,
Yeah, and
that's their aim.
what are we doing to help me get better,
Exactly.
Joel?
Make sure that doesn't happen. Exactly. exactly. So it's like a double
Thank you.
agent. I'm a double agent at the moment. But he was 3, 4, 5, almost 5 over on the par 5s
Yeah.
on Friday. And he made another 3 bogeys on three out of the 4 par 5s on the Saturday. He was 3 over and 5 over on the par 5s and goes 36-37. Now, I got to confess, I did make a bogey on a par 5.
Last week. We spoke about that.
That was with a lost ball. I'll cop that on the chin. I made birdie with the second one, but it doesn't. So it evens out. I made par. Good par, Joel. Thank you. Fuck off. Right. But Saturday, I definitely did make a bogey.
Another one?
Yeah. On 12.
Oh.
Another one off the left. And it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
you
little
were telling me.
pushy thing into the hazard. I hacked it out and I wasn't able to make up and down. So I made bogey, but I made 3 birdies on the other one. So fuck
And
off. But
that's the thing we were talking about, me and SGM. Yes, it's all well and good to turn around and say no bogeys on par 5s, or if you're playing off a high handicap, no doubles on par 5s. They're your scoring holes you want to do well.
Yeah.
That's freaking all well and good.
yeah.
That doesn't disregard the point that it's still a lot needs to go right. Right?
Yes,
So, for
yes.
example, on
Yes.
14 on Saturday, right, we've both pumped driver down the guts.
So
me
the
and
first
Michael.
thing you think of is I can get there in 2.
Not necessarily. I did. He didn't.
So
Right?
what did he hit?
He hit hybrid, and he's thinking, I'm just going to bunt this down there, leave myself.
it's either you go for it or you don't. You don't do it in between. And that's what I spoke to him about. You can't just pick hybrid going, it won't get there, but it might not be short. It's either you hit 7-iron or go for it.
Correct. And so what I said to him, and the thought that came into my head as soon as he pulled that hybrid out was, that's the wrong club.
Well, not even that.
Because he told me, he's like, I'm just going to nut this down there, keep it in play, and give myself a chance to get up and down. I'm like, all right, sweet. Pulls hybrid. And I'm like, now you're going for it.
Yes,
right.
But the fact that you said once you pull out hybrid, he goes, I'm just going to bump one down there, get steery, double miss.
No, it's not. It wasn't even that though. He knew that he had a game plan at the start of I'm just going to get something down there where I put myself in a position to score and keep it in play. Pulls hybrid and then puts a full swing on it. I'm like,
yeah.
I know Michael quite well, and he might disagree with this, but in my eyes, that hybrid at the moment is a problem club, right? Since he's made swing changes with you, he's admitted it himself. He hasn't hit it the greatest. It's on the trend. It's coming back.
I haven't really even seen
him
hit the hybrid.
When he said that and pulled that club out, I'm like, no, pull 5-iron, give yourself 100 in, not even,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
And just keep this thing on the planet, right? And he was saying, I told him, and he's like, oh, no, but I'm hitting these wicked draws, and I'm going to hug the tree line too much to keep it in play. I'm like, still. Me, on the other hand, I'm thinking I'm going to hit something as hard as I can to get it down there. I've got a good position. And I just tugged a 2-iron left. Like it was, I still managed to get out. Yeah, I made 5.
Yeah, good. Okay.
I might have made 6.
Oh, boy. Was it?
I think I 3-jabbed it.
Oh, no.
I think
on the best greens in Victoria.
Yeah, correct.
He reckons.
Oh, well, the best greens are all well and good, but I can't putt for shit, so I'll happily admit that. Anyway, it's those sort of things that lead me into a bit of a topic that
we don't want to air out Michael. It's just an example.
It's just an example.
Yeah.
But it leads us into a topic that I think you just mentioned before we started recording, and I've dubbed golf makes us stupid.
Yeah, that's
right.
I brought this up with you earlier.
And it's got to do with the fact that, and we've seen, you and I have played with a number of different people of a number of different abilities and whatnot, handicap levels or whatever it might be.
Yeah. I walked into the studio just before and said, I'm like, check this out.
Yeah.
I'm like, this drives me nuts, but it has me on toast. It has me fucked. But anyway.
And what we mean by golf makes us stupid is that no matter what or who you are, not only does the handicap level the playing field for everyone, but people's beliefs in their own ability level the playing field for everyone.
Yeah.
The difference is some people can pull it off, some people can't. Right? So again, we don't want to be airing out anybody in particular, but the one that I had, again, and apologies, Mum, all right, I'm sorry, but something caught me off guard yesterday. I went and had a hit with her. We're on 7 at Rosanna. She bunch driver down the right-hand side.
Yeah.
And she's in the rough, just under the trees and all that kind of stuff, and immediately pulls 7-iron out, just to chip out sideways.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, no, you don't need to do that, right? I'm like, what makes you think, because I always do it. Whenever I'm in the trouble, I just pull 7-iron out, chip it out.
That's a comfort thing.
But I'm like, you got 250 into the hole.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a wasted shot.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, what would you do? And I've told her, I'm like, well, if you just take a step back, look at it and look at your surroundings in front of you. And this is the thing that all amateurs do, can do, and especially beginners, right? Just take that extra half a second and think about what you got in front of you.
Yeah.
So I said to her, I was like, there's trees out on the left-hand side of the fairway. I'm like, you can hit 3-wood as hard as you want at those trees. You'll never get there. I'm like, just do that. She had enough of an angle to actually just butt one out with 3-wood or a hybrid or wherever it might be and get distance down there rather than thinking, I'll just chip this out 90 degrees sideways when she's got the whole planet there. And it was one of those things. That's not necessarily something like golf makes us stupid, but we're kind of we're grinded in to believe that, okay, I'm in trouble, I need to get out.
Yeah. I think that's not just a beginner thing. I think it's an experience thing as well.
Correct.
Like she hasn't been in that position often enough, or even on that hole.
No.
Sometimes people dumb it down to, this particular hole I need to do a certain routine. So people get onto a particular hole and say, I always go for it no matter what position I'm in, and I always lay back or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Well, like my point when I walked in here saying golf makes us stupid or whatever it is like perfect example is golf doesn't discriminate for one.
No.
But for some odd reason, every time, no matter who you play with, like I feel like common sense just leaves. They just leave it in the car park.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter how smart this person is. It doesn't matter how qualified or established they are in life external to the golf course. The second they step onto that golf course, any brains or smarts just disappears.
Gone.
Like I've played with some of the most well-established businessmen and smartest people I've probably ever met.
Yep.
The second you get out onto the golf course, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like walking over lines, leaving the bag in an unimaginable spot.
Yep.
You know, asking stupid questions, like having no sense of awareness, like no self-awareness, and no common sense really. Like just no common sense at all. But the second you get out of the gates, they're like Bill Nye. It's like they're just like these crazy smart people. And on the golf course, you're looking at them like,
who are you?
like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's
Who are
like,
you and what have you done with old mate that I was just talking to?
It has me stuffed because you talk to them about the field of work they're in and you're just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you really are switched on. You know exactly what you're doing.
And I suppose that comes down to a thing.
And then they step onto the ground going, oh, what side of the ball do I mark it on? It's like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you...
Yeah, you can mark it on any side that you want as long as you put it back.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You mean, what side do I mark the ball on?
I suppose it's one of those things
like-
where it's like it depends on the level of exposure they've had to the sport as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about these businessmen who are heavily dedicated into their role, might not have the time to come out and play golf all that regularly.
It's
it
not
also might be their first time for the year.
It's not even golf. Golf is common sense.
Yeah.
You need common sense to play golf. It's what it is. It's like like simple example of common sense is when to walk somewhere, where to not, when to hit, when to not.
Yeah.
When to speak, when to not. Simple shit like that.
Golf
just like
etiquette.
simple, like just common sense.
Yeah.
Of like even in golf carts, where to drive, where to not, where to look, be aware of other people and stuff like that. And it just disappears. And it's just like the simple thing. You don't even need to be good at the sport to.
It's not even people who are the brains of the world and the businessmen and successful people of the world. It's golfers.
Yeah.
Who just lose all sense of idea.
It's crazy.
It's like,
crazy
and
to me.
even people who play every week. Like I've had incidents with people, not incidents, but I've had, times with people where they play just as regularly as I do and make stupid common mistakes.
Yeah.
Like I've played with blokes who, every tee box, they're the first person to tee off. Right? And then as soon as they've teed off, even while the rest of us are getting ready, putting gloves on or whatever we might be doing, they've hit their ball, club in the bag, and they've started walking away. And
I've played with a few people like that
right?
before.
And I'm like,
pro
hang on a
ams
second. Like, we've got 3 more blokes to hit. Like, can you just hold on?
Yeah.
Because the last thing I want to do is hear your clubs rattling around in your MGI when you're walking down the gravel path while I'm trying to hit 3-wood into it and land on a dinner plate.
One of the weirdest things I ever was exposed to like that was I played a pro-am. It was one of my first pro-ams too. And he would putt out every time. He'd take his own flag out. He wouldn't mark his ball. He would walk anywhere he wants to.
Yeah.
Like walk all over lines and shit. Takes the flag out, drops it just behind the hole, right? Hits his putt. It never hit the flag. It was
Okay.
like obviously further
was gonna
away.
say.
He would just drop the flag, putt out, have these 2 or 3 putts or whatever he did.
Yeah.
Grab the flag, put it back in,
And walk off.
Puts the flag back in, just goes and stands in his bag. And I'm like, and not even a bad golfer,
Right.
Like mid-teens,
Right.
mid to high teens, can make his way.
Just
around
had
a
no
golf course.
patience for anyone.
But not even that, just had no clue.
Yeah.
And I'm just, like, puts the flag back in, and then we're like, everything all good? He goes, yeah, I'm done. I've finished the hole. It's like, huh?
What?
It's like, we're still putting, dude.
Yeah. You don't want to hold it for the rest of us?
Can you hold the flag? Yeah, no, it's not my turn.
What?
It's like, huh? And it had me
Yeah,
fucked.
nah.
It had me fucked. Like, I reckon I had like 2 over par because it was like, I played like a spastic. What?
Oh, I have 2 over because this guy rattled me that much.
Dude, it had me fucked because it didn't make me angry or frustrated or anything like that. It was
It's
just like,
baffling.
I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And like the other pro that I was playing with, I'm looking at him. He's like, I've never seen this before.
Nah.
Like, and he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Hit it all right. Nice, friendly bloke. But it was just this weird, and like he would hit his shot into a bunker and we're maybe 40, 50 off the green and he's in the greenside bunker. He would go in there, hit his shot, not rake it, go up and just stand at his ball on the green. And we're still hitting 60-meter shots. It's like, dude, like,
Yeah, it's just so
It just had-
self-centered.
but not even that. Like, he wasn't an asshole.
No.
He just and like he was telling,
But his actions are
it
self-centered.
just had no common sense or
There's
awareness.
no courtesy for other people.
Yeah, there was nothing there. And like I said, if he was a dick, then he
Different
would've-
story.
But he was a very nice guy,
Yeah.
well established in his role or whatever he was doing. Just had no idea.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is the fucking? I'm like,
See-
there must be something in like when they drive in, there must be like gas in the air.
Yeah.
That makes people stupid.
And unfortunately-
like, it just had me fucked.
Yeah, unfortunately, that sort of on a side topic.
Yeah.
Those sort of behaviors and those sort of things on the golf
Yeah.
course would fast lead me to put those people on a blacklist. Like never play with them again.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate.
worst thing is-
I've got one bloke on my blacklist.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Right. And that's because he almost started a fight, right, with our mate
I've
Tom.
heard this.
You've
I've
heard this
heard
story,
this, yeah,
right?
I've
He
heard
almost
this.
started a fight with our mate Tom from Motorsport Republica.
Yeah.
I will not get into details.
No,
It is not worth it.
Don't name names.
If
don't.
you're listening to this podcast and you
don't
want to hear the story, next
into
time
it.
you see me, come and ask. I'll tell you. Right?
He's gonna gossip.
Oh, but holy crap. But
I've
again,
heard about
this
this.
guy,
I've heard about this.
just briefly, this guy would do exactly that. He'd hit his ball, go to his bag, start walking away.
Yeah, yeah.
He'd putt out first, put the flag back in, start walking away.
Yeah.
Me and Tom approached him and said, hey, mate, like we're still playing here. And it made it worse because we were just a 3,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we, and every time we pulled him up on it, he apologized. Sorry, boys. And he'd do it for like 2 holes where he'd be okay.
weird.
And then he'd go
weird.
back to his old tactics.
It's just weird.
And then
I don't understand
he
it.
started spruiking some stuff and, saying some things that were a bit left of center. And we were just
Yeah.
like, okay, let's maybe not get involved. And after that, him and Tom almost came to blows over some disagreements.
Could've
And
been on.
it was, Tom and I were packing up the cars in the car park afterwards. And I just turned to him and gone, yeah, never again. He's like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
And I don't think Tom's played golf since, to be perfectly honest.
everyone listening or viewing, there's always those guys, those couple blokes that you can think of at your golf club that are like this. And if you think there aren't at your golf club, you're one of them.
Yeah, we've said it before. Yeah,
we've said this before and we'll say it again. But it's just like that's the topic that I was sort of thinking like the last few weeks, and I'm leading into summer. I'm entered a few events.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and play a couple pro-ams, hopefully one this Sunday. And yeah, it's just sort of reminded me because I haven't played a pro-am in a while.
Yeah, correct.
And it's just sort of reminded me of that. Of
That-
just like
that memory.
a couple experiences I've had. Like not bad,
And
but just
pro-ams are
just
such a
shit.
weird venue for those sorts of interactions as
Yeah,
well. Because
yeah.
yes, you've got your golfers that are paying money to come and play with
Yeah.
pros. Maybe they're members of the golf club that you're playing it
yeah,
at.
usually, yeah.
Right. But the other half of the field is sponsors. Right.
Yeah,
I know.
majority is people either buying in or
sponsoring the
exactly,
event. And I know from my own pro-am at Heidelberg, the afternoon field is solely reserved for sponsors and the groups that they book out. So of course you're going to get the businessmen who have got hand-me-down golf clubs from their
Yeah,
father-in-law and
yeah.
all that, and they don't play golf.
See, that's all well and good because golf etiquette is different to general etiquette. Because I've
Correct.
played with guys that have never played golf before, but they wait their turn. They don't stand in front of you. They don't talk when you hit.
And I
But
suppose-
I've also played with guys that like the same thing, new to the sport, still play it, but
Yeah.
still have no idea. It's a weird thing, but just people people walking into that golf club. There's gas that comes out of the gate. It just goes, "You're retarded now. Like, you're stupid." It's just
I suppose it's a thing like
had me
when
stuffed.
I was coming into golf and as a sport and learning it as a kid, my dad especially made a big deal out of this is golf etiquette. This is what you do. You're respectful. You shake
was the
hands
same.
with all your playing partners.
Yeah.
You give them time and space.
Yeah.
You just follow me around and I'll stand in the right spots and you'll learn off me. And I got that again from a mate of ours, Dave Hudson, when I came to Heidelberg, and he,
Dave.
because social golf is different to club golf,
Absolutely.
right? And corporate day golf is different to club golf,
Everything
right?
is.
And
Every
so I'd
format's
only had
different.
social golf and corporate day golf experiences with my dad compared to club golf, where it's like, this is every week. You've got a reputation now,
Yeah.
right? You're going to be here a lot, and people are going to get to know you.
Corporate days, you can just make a dick of yourself once and you don't
and
see
never
it
go
till
back
next
again.
year.
Never go back again,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Whereas club golf, I'm there every week.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people are going to know who I am.
Yeah.
I've got a reputation already as it is at my golf club, and I hope it's a good one. But like, the last thing I want to do,
Is that bloke that shanks chips?
correct. The last
a
thing I
video
want
of
to
it
do
too. I wanna
is
put-
ruin somebody else's experience because I'm carrying on like a twat.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
And I've had those instances in the past
Correct.
where I've gotten angry at myself. I've said some bad language or thrown a club or two, and then straight away I'm like, sorry boys, carrying on like a dick. Especially if I'm playing with three blokes I don't know.
I've made that very aware. I've been very aware of myself in particular with that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
When I was a bit younger, I didn't care. I was just angry at myself. I was angry at the golf. I thought that's just what everyone did. Like you hit a shit shot, have a bad hole, be angry at yourself, sort of hit your bag with your club, and thought that's just what you did. Like when I was a bit younger, and now it's sort of like now I'm a bit more aware of like how you see it, because when you see other people do it, you're just like, oh god.
And it's definitely it's a comfort thing. Like I will lose
I still
it.
do it now. I still do it now. When I might chuck a club at the bag or something like that, or slam the driver on the ground, it's just like I straight away think, oh, that didn't look good.
Yeah, correct.
Why the fuck am I doing that?
Correct.
Like I still get angry at myself when I do it.
But it's also a comfort thing. And unfortunately, I will more than likely do it when I'm playing with Mitch and Michael or yourself and Raptor. People that I know who are just being like, it's just drags. Fucking leave me alone, right?
It's just drags. We give you shit about it and we move on.
If I'm playing with three blokes who I play with regularly enough to like get to know them a bit, right? There's certain levels of what you think you can get away with. If I'm playing with three blokes that I've never played with before, don't know who they are, will probably never see them again, then I'm like, all right,
you behave yourself.
Strictly business. Like it's, even club champs. Like don't behave like that in club champs.
No.
It doesn't matter how shit you play. Like just you cannot lose it. This is club champs.
Exactly.
All right. If it's, Saturday par or whatever, and it's just a smack about with the boys, all bets are off.
That's actually a good point. I'm a completely different person when I play a tournament as to when I play club golf.
Yeah,
I usually speak out a little bit if I'm unhappy with something, but in a tournament I'm completely blank face.
Correct, and that's probably because
more now than I was. But
at Rosanna or Heritage or Eastern, wherever you play, you're Joel. You're just from the shop, or
exactly.
You're just you're just Joel.
I'm generally mates with the guys.
One of the boys,
with,
right?
So,
Whereas at a pro event, you're Joel Mitchell, the brand, PGA member, right? And you've got your own goals and aspirations and your own reputation to uphold.
Generally, people that don't know me very well.
Correct. And you're also trying to make a name for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So you automatically just instinctually on your best behavior.
Yeah, exactly. And there's often there's at events there's a lot of not scouts, but there's PGA members and highly qualified PGA pros there
that are there to be impressed.
That are there to not go, well, yeah, he's a good golfer, but he throws his clubs.
He's a twat, yeah.
But rather than go, okay, he didn't play great, but he handled it fantastic. Like,
you never know what people are thinking.
Exactly. You never know who's going to be there and who's watching. So that's why I've always thought, and my old man was very good with that. He always told me, he goes, you never know who's watching, mate. You never know who you could be playing with.
Yeah.
So generally with pro-ams, like, I might not play, if I don't play well, generally, like, you're on your best behavior. They go, oh, you're hitting it all right? I'm like, nah, I'm not hitting it great, but oh well.
Yeah.
I'm out here, so what?
Yeah.
What do you do? And if I play well, they go, you're playing pretty good. Yeah, happy with how today's going. You got to be literally as professional as you can. Whereas if I'm playing with you, Raptor, and fucking
Remy,
Michael, or Remy or whoever I'm playing with, if I'm playing with you lot, and I've
it's
just
a slap about,
and I've missed a green from 210. Right, a fucking shit golf guy.
Something's ended up in a river.
I fucking hate this golf course. I'm hitting it so shit at the moment. Like, like I'm gonna like
it's all
speak
bets
out
are
a
off.
little bit.
All bets are off. Now, before we get into questions from the second cut,
oh god,
2025.
Yes,
it's finally here.
It
At
is.
the time of listening, it is 2025.
It is.
Happy New Year.
Third. Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I hope it was a crappy New Year. I'm kidding.
One thing that's perked my interest for this year, aside from what we've got planned for the podcast, Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh yeah, true.
Right, trailer dropped last week.
This is a real sturdy.
Yeah.
I just realised what I did.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not cutting it out. Staying in. Yeah. So the trailer dropped last week. I saw it first on Bryson DeChambeau's page.
Oh, really?
He put a post up with Adam Sandler and the US Open Trophy.
YouTube short. Yeah.
And then I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
And the trailer looks okay.
Yeah, it looks
right?
fun.
And this is a discussion you and I have had a lot in the past about the first Happy Gilmore movie. It's that it's iconic. It's heavily quotable. It's a great movie for us as golfers, but it's a shit movie.
Happy Gilmore is one of the worst movies Adam Sandler's ever produced, but is possibly on top of my list. On the top of my list,
right?
In terms of a movie, it's
if you were to compare it, and you can't really, but if you were to compare it to some of the greatest movies of all time, right? It doesn't even come close.
Horrible.
But because of its status in comedy and in golf and society of that, I think it's more nostalgic than anything, and everyone just loves that movie
Happy
for what
Gilmore
it is.
is like top 10 of my favorite movies.
And all those feelings come out when you see the trailer for the second one. You're like, oh, this could.
You know what?
I'm so scared because it could either be really good and live up to the hype, or it could ruin the first one.
I don't care what it's like. I don't mind because it's not going to ruin the first one. The first one is so good. Like to us, and it is such an like you said, iconic and quotable movie, and fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
right. But
hilariously stupid.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? I saw the trailer of Happy Gilmore 2, and it kind of reminded me of Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
So the first Dumb and Dumber is like
it's one of the greats.
The movie's good. But
the movie's funny, but it ain't a great movie
because it's so funny and stupid.
It's in a league of its own.
That's what makes it good.
Yeah.
I put those two the same.
Yeah.
Like movie itself, plotline,
so like,
but it's a funny fucking movie, and it's hilarious watching some of the shit that happens. And like when Dumb and Dumber 2 came out 20 years later, this is what it reminds me of. They're old now. They're doing stupid shit still.
It'd be like if Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly made a Step Brothers 2. So that's the league of movies we're talking about.
65-year-olds.
Happy Gilmore, Mr. Deeds, so Big Daddy, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, Dumb and Dumber, all these funny movies that are crap movies that are just that are good because they're so funny.
Yeah, because they're so
iconic
and
quotable.
Because the high caliber of actors in it as well that make it so good. Like,
and you mentioned high caliber actors. I don't think there are too many in Happy Gilmore 2 aside from Sandler and Julie Bowen and whoever else was in the first one. But then you've got Bryson DeChambeau who's going to be in
Travis
it.
Kelce.
Travis Kelce's going to be in it.
Is Tiger going to be?
I don't know.
But Chubbs is dead though.
Chubbs is dead.
Could be his son.
That's the thing. And we were talking about how could we talk about this on the podcast? It's like, what would you expect to happen in the movie? Now, it's scheduled to come out in summer 2025, which is States summer, which is June, July.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is when it does come out, we'll both give a bit of homework. We'll watch it.
Yeah.
And we'll have a big chat about it on the pod when it comes out for a little bit. That's got me excited for this year coming up. We've also got a couple of things booked in for the podcast.
Yeah.
We've got some guests that are really keen on coming on.
A couple of guys had mentioned to me in the last week or so that they go, oh, so when am I coming on? And I was like, well, we'll just organise it.
Oz Tour Pros, mates of yours that you've met on different events and whatnot.
Yep.
We want to try and get your boss Luke to come on.
Yeah, well,
have a chinwag with us about probably how shit you are,
how shit I am, and all the
how much
57 hole-in-ones he's had, and all the 25 course records he has.
Yeah, and how much Marcus loves to bend a wedge,
and how and what. What?
Marcus loves to bend a wedge, mate.
Bend a wedge?
Yeah.
He's never bent a wedge in his life.
Bullshit. I'm talking. No, dude, you've lost me. You've lost me. You got no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
I don't think you know what
the two blokes. So myself and Michael have had fittings with Marcus, and both of us have been suggested to like bend wedges, like open up lofts. And
as
shit.
A professional, he's recommending something.
He loves it. He loves it.
I got mine bent from 54 to 55.
Loves it.
I don't know what you're on about.
Anyway, don't worry about it.
He's bending it from a professional standpoint, and he's doing a favour to yourself.
He just wants to show off his skills.
He doesn't bend them.
Bullshit. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
He's going to listen to this. He's going to call me going, I'm killing him. I'm going to... Dude, you...
Anyway. Oh, fuck. Marcus, that's for you, mate.
He bends them to
I know.
enhance or decrease bounce or something like that. He bends them to work with you. Fucking ungrateful pricks. Fucking hell.
I love you, Marcus.
Him getting me to bend that 54 to 55 and then we kept the 60 the way it is. That was the best thing that could have happened to that 54.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, because like even though it's a degree, it's fucking this much. It's this much. It's made a bit of a difference.
Well, then I take back everything I said.
I don't think you do.
No, I don't.
This way.
Yeah, anyway, so we've got some people that we want to come on.
Yes.
Well, we are in the very, very early stages of maybe a Sydney trip.
Yeah,
the Aussie. And by early stages, I mean I've mentioned it to you once.
Well, we've said we've got to do it, and Raptor actually mentioned to me yesterday that we should do an Adelaide one as well. If we don't do Sydney, because we'll go play Royal and Kooyonga.
Yeah, sick.
And they're just as good.
And we just drive to Adelaide.
We probably could.
Yeah.
It would probably be faster
to fly
because it takes an hour.
Yeah.
Barely an hour to fly to Adelaide.
Yeah.
But even to Sydney, it takes the same thing.
Yeah, cool.
It's an hour.
We'll figure it out.
An hour and a bit to fly.
Another thing I'll mention in just quick passing, I have reached out to a company, the same company that has made Marcus's head covers,
Yeah.
about making up some head covers with the podcast logo on them.
So cool.
At this stage,
So
I
cool.
don't know what we're going to do or if we're going to do anything with them at all. If they turn out all right, I might buy a couple for us.
Yeah.
If they turn out all right and we buy them,
If they
and
can
you
get
see
you-
them
yeah.
and you might want one yourself, let
Yeah,
me know.
let
I
us
can
know.
order you one.
Yep.
You'll obviously have to cover the cost.
Oh, of course. No shit.
We're not going to upcharge or anything like that. It'll just be
too
if you
much.
want, if you
Too
because
much.
I've got the no, not too much, just double.
yeah.
But if you like the look of them and you want one,
Yeah.
just reach out and
Because we'll
pro-
be repping them. So
Yeah.
and if you want one, then yeah, by all
let
means.
us know. The more we can get out there, the better. Spreads the word.
Absolutely.
But yes, so 2025 is going to be a big one for us. We've also got 12 months of the pod coming up, so we need to try and figure out what we're going to do for that anniversary episode whenever that comes. Questions from the second cut.
Yep.
Let's get into it.
Go for it.
So, what is one thing you'd like to see us do in 2025, either on the pod or for the pod?
I'd love to try. Like we already have, we've dipped a big toe in, but I'd love if we could try and do upload matches. Like,
Yeah, cool.
Like little encore stuff.
Yeah.
Because they have seen us do ace cams and various other shots, but like actual playthroughs.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the only people like any listeners and viewers, they don't actually know what sort of golfers we are. They just see us yapping about crap.
Absolutely.
Like if they could actually see some of the content, and now you've ordered plenty of equipment, and we've got some good stuff there to probably use. It's
Yeah.
just especially towards the end of the year with both with your work and my events and us, or everything fucking shit hit the fan. We haven't really actually been able to find the time, but
The other thing is, and this is a shout out to a lot of people who do it regularly, it's hard.
it sucks.
It's so hard
Yeah.
to actually focus on playing a round of golf, filming that
Yeah.
round of golf,
Yeah.
and being entertaining enough to speak to the camera.
Yeah, and saying the right things,
And
standing in
so,
the right spot. Like
With
being
that in
conscious,
mind, I'm putting the call out to anyone listening. Reach out if you're happy to help us, right? Because if we could get someone out to come and just hold a camera,
Now,
I'll show them how to point, aim, and shoot.
the perfect
Use the equipment that we've got. If anyone would like to come out and help us, Luke has reached out to us in the past.
come play, but
to come play. But that's the big thing as well.
yeah.
If you want to come and help us film, the expectation would be that you don't play with us. Like, we need you there to film.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and this is why it's hard for us to get our mates to do it, because our mates want to play
want
with
to
us.
play exactly.
So when we go play Eastern or Heritage or wherever we decide to have a hit, we're bringing a person there just to stand there and film, which is a big ask.
I think the good Kickstarter. I spoke to shout out to Jake Fullerton. He's part of Sync. Right, which is with one of the tour pros, Matthias Sanchez. He's doing fantastic on the Aussie tour at the moment. He's a gun, absolute gun. I played with him at Asian Q School. He hits it amazing. And then I think it's Cody and Byron Kieran as well. So those 5 guys, they're doing some really good work with that content as well. They started literally from the ground up. And they've worked, and now they're getting thousands of views and
good
and
on
stuff
them.
like that. And they've done really well. And I spoke to Jake a couple of weeks ago after he uploaded one of Matthias's rounds from the Vic PGA.
Yeah, cool.
And it was awesome. It was just they both had mics on. I think it was Kieran that followed him around with the camera, just watching Matthias's round, and Jake was caddying. And it was actually really good to see. It was just entertaining. They chatted about shit that sometimes didn't matter.
Yep.
Like it was just the in-game view. Matthias played really well. I think he had 5 under or something like that.
Nice.
Played some really good golf. Putted the absolute dots off it.
Yep.
It was awesome. And yeah, I spoke to Jake and said, mate, this was really good to watch. Like keep it going. Hopefully in the future we might be able to do something. And he goes, yeah, no, he goes, I was actually going to message her. He wants to do like a GJGJ and sync. Like
cool.
we get us involved and we go wherever they are or whether they come to us or whatever they do.
Whatever it might be.
And we do a collab day.
Yeah,
where we
sick.
go out and we'll learn a lot from them
course.
because obviously all 5 of them usually play like a scramble at St Andrews Beach or wherever they go at. They did it out at Eastern when Jake was there, but yeah, I reckon we'll learn a fair bit. And having 5 people is easier than 2.
Correct.
But at least we'll be able to learn something. Like we'll be able to go out there and do some collab content. They're fun. Like Jake's awesome. And the other boys are awesome as well. Grew up with some of them, and
Good.
like
We'll figure something out, and
entertaining.
that's part of the stuff that I was mentioning before, and sort of what's in line for us for 2025. So if they want to get involved and and do something with us and have us out there wherever they want to go, I'm down. Like it sounds like a great idea.
It'd be awesome.
But like I said, for us, the two of us makes it hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
It
is
is hard.
tough.
Editing and stuff like that, I've got pretty much under control. It's just a matter of
We got to do like the 6 hole sort of stuff.
6
the,
hole,
the
9
9
hole.
stretches on a little bit.
Yeah.
The 18 holes not yet.
no, God no.
Not even close.
So, and we had grand aspirations to do that sort of stuff, sort of late night at golf courses and stuff, and play a few holes and 3-hole matches, 2-hole, 6-hole matches, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Hasn't really come through.
Nah. Just
But
having fun at the time. Really.
It's definitely on the cards. We are looking to try and find ways to do it, but like I said, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's a juggling act at the moment.
And keep in mind, I still work full time.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
you're
Exactly.
playing events.
We're
and
all over the shop.
jumping in the shop to get a couple of shifts in when you can, and all
we're
that kind of
jumping
stuff.
all over the shop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Have you got a question for me?
I do. This branches on the main topic we were talking about, how golf makes us stupid and
Yep.
who you can and can't play with.
Yep.
What you feel like. Would you rather play every comp round just by yourself or with the top 3 blokes that you blacklist?
This okay.
The
This
reason why I
question
targeted
this question sucks, right? Because
for listeners as well and the viewers, if like you can like think about this as well, the 3 people that you see on the timesheet that you're like, fuck no.
yeah.
Would you rather play with those 3 or play by yourself every comp round?
And the reason why this question sucks so much is because I can't really stand playing by myself.
And I know that. That's why I
Right.
chose the question.
I used to love it. I used to be able to go out and practice heaps and play on my own, few holes here, chip, putt, whatever. Now that I'm 30 and, I value the time that I spend with my mates, I'd much rather be with someone that I enjoy to be with. But that being said,
I actually don't know what you're going to answer here. I don't actually know what your answer is going to be.
honestly, I probably, it's one of those where I'm probably going to change my mind on it 3 times. That being said, though, I reckon playing with nobody might be better than playing with 3 blokes I don't like. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, because for me, there's levels. Like, there's levels of blokes that I don't like. It's just like, okay, I can tolerate them, play around a golf, they'll be okay, right? Then there's, it has to be a good day for me to play with them.
Top 1, 2, and 3 that you see on the timesheet that you're like, I'd rather not play.
Yeah, no, I'd rather play by myself.
Yeah.
I'd rather play by myself in that case.
I'm
like,
the same.
I'm the only person on the timesheet and that's it? Like, or is it just like
It's just you.
just me? Yeah,
Just
no,
you.
I'd rather play by myself. That's the only way I'm going to shoot 4 under.
Hey, how do you think I do?
That's exactly right.
I can't higher than 4.
Exactly.
Please.
No, look, my day on the golf course is heavily dictated by the surroundings I have. The golf's just a extra thing. Like, if I play well, great. If I play shit, oh well. Like, who cares? I'll crack the shits a little bit. Like,
I feel like it means more to you from the start.
it does. I
from
always
the
want to
start.
play well, and I always want to, improve and get better.
Yeah.
But it's so easy for me to fall back on. Like, if the round's gone early, like if I'm not playing well and I just go, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah, you concentrate
I'm
on the
still
company.
there with my mates.
You concentrate on the company, yeah.
Right? And I'm just, how often do you get to spend? I mean, I'm lucky I get to do it every Saturday, but how often do you get to spend a 4-hour period of time with your 2 closest mates?
Yeah, I feel like for you, the first 6 holes determines how you view the day.
Yeah.
It was like if you first 6 holes you start really well, you're even par or
The
whatever.
first 6 holes and the last 3 holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first 6 holes, first 6 holes for you is like if you're starting good and you're even par, you're chirping with us, you're having fun, and the day generally works out all right. And the golf was good, so being with everyone else and having a laugh is
Is
a bonus.
even better.
Whereas if you're 8 over through 6, you're just like fuck the golf,
Yeah.
and then you start singing.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we see singing drags,
Yeah.
and you hear him in the bushes, "Sweet Caroline, fuck this shit." you just hear him in the trees.
Fuck.
Yeah, literally. Oh, I don't like this. And then you hear him, "Sweet Caroline, I want to go home." And you just hear him from that. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that question as well, because I feel like if I had to play every comp round with people that I'm looking at the timesheet going, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I would then start resenting the game.
Yes.
I'd start going, I just don't want to go play now. So I usually go play by myself all
And
the time.
let's make this perfectly known, right? There have been times where I've been on my own without a tea time, right? Looked at the timesheet and seen those couple of blokes on the sheet, and it's the only group available, and I stay home.
Yeah. Yeah, see?
Right? I stay home. They're like, all right, hanging out with the missus today.
Yeah.
Oh.
Reggie?
Yeah,
Going for a walk?
Yeah, that's it, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, Joel. I think that's a good spot to leave it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into the first episode of 2025 of the Gold Jacket, Green Jacket podcast. Be sure to head to Spotify, listen to it there, over to YouTube, like and subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button. It does us wonders.
It does.
Like, it really helps us out a lot.
It does.
While you're there, head over to our TikTok and Instagram. Have a look at some clips over there. And yeah, keep an eye out for some big things coming in 2025. We're not just saying it.
Good things planned. And
Good things planned.
Plans we always work towards.
And if you have any other suggestions of things you might like us to do or you might like to see out of us in the next 12 months, let us know. And we'll see what we can do. But other than that, hit them very, very well. We'll see you all next week. Cheers.